Hey everyone, welcome to the Sound Test Podcast. This is the host, Bryan here, and I'm joined by a bunch of fools, a gaggle of geese, if you will.
Yes.
I have standards.
Black gentleman, thank you.
Bryan here is just jealous he's not one of us.
Stop.
That's all that means.
I feel like I'm being bullied here.
Excuse me. Oh my God!
You called us out.
I'm the one of the light. I'm the one of the lighter skin, and now I'm getting bullied.
Man, get out of here!
Exactly. You can only join us if you are at least dark as fucking cardboard.
Oh,
What the fuck?
I'm waiting, Bryan. I'm waiting. You got to be at least this dark.
that reminds me of that episode of Family Guy where Peter got pulled over and the cop pulled out the card.
Oh, yeah, he pulled the thing. He's like, "All right, you're good.
All right, you're light enough. You're good." It was like threat or not threat.
Exactly. In this case, it's Black History Month, so you got to be dark.
Oh God.
Because I'm black, y'all.
He has locks. He has locks, so that counts.
Thank you. That's my pass.
That raises his black
they
level
look
by
like-
2 points.
So do some
they
white
don't look
people.
Like,
But their
because
locks do not look like
like
this. Yeah.
That shit looks like a dirty mop, bro. Their dreads look like that shit look like a dirty. But them black locks, they look different.
DeYante, how you
Welcome to the podcast.
DeYante, how you feeling today on this Black History Month?
I mean, y'all started talking about hair. I'm enjoying cookies that happen to be black. So, cheers.
Clayton, how you doing on this Black History Month? Oh God.
There you go.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm sorry. I hardly drink soda. I just eat a caffeine.
okay. Real side tangent. So like sometimes we'll be on the PlayStation group chat, we're talking, relaxing.
Oh no.
Clayton's burps are the worst. Like he just let it rips, boy.
That's the same syllable, but
And it's like he has tone to his burps, which is so weird to say. Like he has pitched tone to his burps. And it's like it's a certain cadence of how long it is, the inflection of it. It's something
Like,
it's something to witness, boy.
like there's a segment in Animaniacs where Wacko does belching songs with an orchestra, and that's literally Clayton belching out every syllable.
See?
Yeah, see?
Don't look surprised. It came
what
out
a
of your
way to
mouth.
what a way to start a fucking podcast.
Get out of my mouth.
Stop.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm out of soda. I probably won't drink any more soda for the rest of the night. Whew.
And we're joined by Max. Bruh, he is going through it. Jesus.
What I do?
You, all that hacking.
I didn't hack.
He was like, when you turn around.
Fucking weirdo.
Bro, put the Pepsi down. At this point, just put the Pepsi down.
The proof is right there. The fact that you just made the entire syllable cleanly, with articulation, clean cut off. The sound was resonant. All the characteristic sounds of a Clayton Ford belt.
I'm gonna make a fucking soundboard.
Oh no.
I'm gonna do it. It's gonna have catchphrases like nigga.
Not on our Black History Month.
Back on Black History, bub. You love to see it. My room's messy, my hair's nappy, and I'm feeling blacker than ever, baby. Let's go.
Bruh, the thought just came to my mind, like somebody discovering this podcast for the first time, and they're very not much black, and they're hearing all of this and feeling discomfort as they're driving.
No, we
as they're
welcome
listening.
all creeds and colors.
But I'm just imagining somebody just like, oh, oh, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, what are these doing? But I love y'all white people. I love y'all wiggers.
We're gonna stop right there. We're gonna stop right there and continue forward. So, welcome to the Sound Test Podcast. Before this takes a nosedive, Happy Black History Month. So Nintendo Direct just recently dropped, and that's what we're going to be talking about this week for you all. And then there's going to be another. Shut up. And it's going to be another subtopic we're going to talk about a little bit regarding on the value of games and gaming, and what the pricing structure really means to the games itself, and as a consumer, what is too much and what is too little in terms of the price, the content, and things like that. So, it is a beefy Nintendo Direct. It was about 40-ish minutes. There was a lot announced, like a lot, with varying degrees of good and varying degrees of meh and varying degrees of questionable highlights. So we're not going to spend, talking about every single game, but I will list every game, and then, the ones that interest us, the ones that, we have something to talk about, we will. So the Nintendo Direct kicks off with Pikmin 4. Just kind of cold drops from the beginning. I haven't played any Pikmin games, so I have no horse in this race. But I know DeYante.
Let's pause. What?
I'm along with Bryan.
To be fair, Pikmin is not a very.
It's a very niche game.
It's a very niche game. It's not.
It's once you play it though. Once you play Pikmin, it's like, why haven't I played this sooner? It's just fun. Like it's a barrel of fun, and it's hard. It has its difficulty. Like it's not an easy game.
There's a lot,
especially if you're just if you're starting out. It's not an easy game, not at all. But it's really fun.
Isn't it technically a real-time strategy game? Yes. No.
Yeah.
Sorts.
Yeah. You have different types of Pikmin that can do different things that are better for different things. And of course, you can't just throw your Pikmin into the fray. You're gonna end up killing them all. You have to be very strategic with your Pikmin. Don't lead them into danger. Don't lead them into one-sided fights, because you only have a limited amount of resources on every map.
So you only have a limited amount of soldiers to kill at your expense.
Yes, literally.
Very literally. They will die for you.
Oh no.
They have no choice.
I'm surprised I haven't picked up either of the Pikmin games, because I love strategies. I love puzzles. So,
and
the multiplayer was
beating your
fun
head
too.
up against the wall with some of these puzzles, if you can fucking call it that.
Yeah, me and my brothers used to play Pikmin 2 multiplayer all the time. It was really fun.
I never had anybody playing because it's such a niche game. So I just played the campaign. I never beat one, but they were still very enjoyable every time I would play it. I would just drop it for like one reason or another, come back to it like maybe a month or 5 later, enjoy it, have a little spat with it, rinse, repeat.
So, is this something that you all are gonna like pick up or what?
Not day one, no. But
considering I haven't gotten 3 yet, no.
Like, can we play?
I might check it out.
Say that again, Clayton.
There is a story to the games, but honestly, just pick up the game and play it.
What was your question, Clayton? I didn't hear you.
Well, I was asking if I could just pick up Pikmin 4 without knowing any of the continuity from prior
Oh
games.
yeah.
Say less.
Because I think the stories are loose because they're still in the universe as you being pretty much a foreign alien coming to a human-like planet, literally. But it's just different pilots.
You're an alien coming to Earth, but like Almar and Alf and all those people, they're this big. They're this
they're really
big.
They're really tiny.
They're tiny. So because you're fighting insects, you're literally fighting insects on the game.
Literal nightmare horrors.
The story is stupid. I'm a TLDR the story. Almar is a salary man. That nigga is a regular salary
man.
I'm so serious.
Very strict 8 to 5.
And he got sent on a mission to Earth. The ship fucking breaks. He spends the whole time building his ship back together and flies his ass back to his planet. And then other stuff happens. I'm not going to explain the other games, but that's the gist. He's literally just a salary man. Working the salary man life. Wife and kids. Oh, no more hair on his head. Wife and kids, stressed from a long day of work with his shirt and tie on. No hair left on his head.
You're making him sound less than what he really is.
He sounds like he lives a very sad existence.
It's a very regular ass existence. That's what I'm saying.
You're making it sound like you really don't like all of them.
Right.
Like you have something against.
Bro, no, I'm not saying that. It's just that it's funny to me that he's just a salary. He's just a regular.
Does him being basic and generic amuse you, bro?
Right. Bruh, imagine a regular fucking like blue collar worker, white collar worker, just going on a spaceship, going to another planet and getting fucking stranded, and then finds another alien species to enslave to help find his.
See, that's his power trip.
Now it's starting to come full circle. Start to come full circle.
So yeah, there's Pikmin 4. I'm happy for the people who care about Pikmin. I'm not one of those people. Next, what was shown off was the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Expansion Pass Volume 3. Got it. That is a mouthful.
That's a mouthful. I'm not a Xenoblade player, so I will let y'all take it from me.
I mean, I am. I ain't even finished the fucking game yet, so I
figured that. Okay.
Game's long.
When it came to like Fire Emblem, Three Houses, I ate that game up when it first came out, and like there was like, oh, if you go through a single storyline, like you pick a single house and go through the storyline and do everything, that's like an 80 to 90 hour game, which was pretty true. And they had DLC for Three Houses, and I was like, I'm never going to play this DLC. Because I put already 130 hours in that game. I'm not about to buy DLC and go through another story. Like, that game actually just had too much content. And I feel like this is the same way with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, where it's just like, it's so much content, and you're adding another huge, like, actual expansion pass with possibly hundreds of hours of more content on top of what the base game already gives you.
And the thing is that with the other trailer, I'm pretty sure y'all didn't recognize it because y'all don't have any history with the games. But I have beaten the first game, and I know about the main character in the second game. And there was a second part of the trailer where they were showing Shulk, the main character from the second game, Rex, and the main villain from the first game. And so now they're going to be tying in all three games into 3. So that's kind of a big brain thing. Like they're marketing the game very well to get fans of the series to like really buy into the series. Like they're trying to make it all come together.
That's pretty cool.
If I ever get to the second game, and that bitch is basically $90. It's literally basically a $90 game.
Oh yeah, because of that expansion pass.
It's a lot of game. You get what you pay for.
So there's that. Out of left field, Samba de Amigo Party Central.
I want it.
Samba de Amigo. What was the last time we had a Samba de Amigo game? I've never played him.
I
but
think the Wii. I think the Wii was like the last one.
Yeah,
because you had the Wii remote, so you could still do it. I don't even think there was one on the Wii U.
Because the Wii U died too fast.
Which is crazy that like Sega is so weird. Like out of all the franchises, they're just like, you know what? Let's bring back Samba de Amigo. Why not? You know,
I think this is Samba's year. I really think this is the one.
And it's not
this time.
And it's not like Super Monkey Ball where it's a remaster. Like this is straight up a brand new game.
Right. And I mean, I've never played any of the Samba de Amigo games. I've always seen it in like, especially like growing up when the Dreamcast did come out, and you would see all this promotional material for Sega Dreamcast stuff, and Samba de Amigos in it too, with like Sonic and the guy from Ready to Rumble boxing and shit like that. So I remember seeing them. I've just never played any of the game, and I never even knew what the games were until I got older and started getting into music. And then I found out that it's a damn rhythm game. So
I like the art style and art design for the
characters.
Yeah,
I do too.
Oh yeah, a brother just want to dance with his Joy-Cons.
Yeah, and that shit got multiplayer and stuff, and it seems pretty legit.
Yeah, to actually
Online?
doing a full, release game, effort and stuff.
I know that game's if for extra tracks, it's gonna be ripe with DLC.
That's how rhythm games get their money, boy. All that DLC.
I'm looking at you, Just Dance.
Oh, yeah, Just Dance. Now, Just Dance is so bad that they made a subscription service for their game.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Are you serious?
That's crazy.
Yeah, you could pay a monthly subscription for Just Dance, and they keep on feeding you like an unlimited amount of songs.
That's kind of wild. What I need for rhythm games, I need them to go ahead and make another Rhythm Heaven. That's free.
Oh,
didn't they
I'm
have
waiting
one
for more
on the
Rhythm
Switch?
Heaven. No,
Because you would have heard about that.
Could have sworn there was a Rhythm Heaven on the Switch.
But
I don't think so.
Well, it might
have been
at least for. Okay.
It might have been like brought up, but it was no Rhythm Heaven game made specifically for the Switch, like a new game made specifically for the Switch. I don't know if they ported one up. I'm not sure.
I don't think,
but they haven't made a new Rhythm Heaven game in a minute.
With my experience with rhythm games, like the only one that I can think of right now that's about to come out is the Final Fantasy one, and the little bit of the demo that I played that is fantastic, and that has DLC for its music too from other games and like Nier and.
Are you talking about Theater Rhythm?
Yeah, whatever. Theater Rhythm, blah, 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 whatever it is. But that has a DLC pack too, where you pay for those extra songs, and that's extra content. It's not like Just Dance. You gotta pay for no fucking subscription fee. Like it's like only 40 extra songs added to the game, and on like 4 different difficulties. So, still content.
I could have sworn there was a Rhythm Heaven game announced for Switch. I guess not. Huh. So moving on, we have probably the funniest part of the direct when the announcer was like, "Do you have a passion for passion? A passion for fashion?
Do you have an eye for fashion? Then go fuck yourself."
Bro, they had like a whole 2 minutes on Fashion Dreamer.
That shit. My mouth was agape because I could not believe what I was looking at that point in time. I was like, "There's no fucking way that a slot for advertising in a first-party Nintendo game has been beat." by Fashion Dreamer.
Fashion Dreamer, baby.
Like that shit blew my mind. I could believe it. Hell nah. Get this shit out of here.
Yeah, fashion games are a no for me, dog.
I didn't know they were still making fashion games, to be honest with you. That used to be
there's
the
an
rage.
audience for it.
It used to be the rage, like the DS and 3DS era.
Yeah, boy. Because
I think Ubisoft had like a whole line of them, and it was like massive how many they put out.
yeah, and it's like in any like department store, boy, in that bargain bin, you's gonna find you a fucking fashion game, whether you wanted to or not.
You about to go to Five Below, find that shit.
Yeah, for that Barbie game, that Barbie's fashion something.
Every a dime a dozen, boy. Them shits were everywhere, plaguing those bins. Right next to Corey in the house.
There you go. After Fashion Dreamer, you had DLC for Dead Cells, Return to Castlevania.
Yes, Dead Cells is already a game that I wanted to pick up, but that solidified it.
That game's hard as balls.
I'm down for it.
It is fantastic. So, I think I bought the last DLC, the Bad Seed or something with a seed, just because I just want to support the developers. This game's that fucking good, and there's not another game that visually looks like that game does. Like, it has a very striking visual style to me, so that's why I'm just like, I love it. Just playing it.
It seems
even though I'm bad at it.
Seems very faithful to Castlevania with taking it with how it uses the IP.
Like they showed the Dracula thing where he's like in his chair and he like throws the glass, but it's in their art style. Like, it just looks fucking cool as shit. I love it. So I will be getting that.
After that was Tron Identity, which is like a Tron visual novel game. Okay, hold up.
Nobody see coming.
Hold up.
Nobody see coming.
Now
it looks.
Okay, wait, hold up. I'm not a Tron fan by any means, but the game is being developed by Bithell Games, and his studio makes nothing but really great games. Like last year, they made like a solitaire game, but it was like a solitaire game with a whole story mode, and like there's actually like other narrative elements weaved in and out, and it's like apparently it's really good. And he made a bunch of other like games back in the mid 2000s. So from what I can tell, he's never made a bad game. His studio's never made a bad game. The last licensed game they made was a John Wick game that came out a few years ago, and that was well received.
Hex?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
And he's if you ever seen the Alana Pierce podcast, Play, Watch, Listen, he's one of the people on that podcast. Mike Bithell. So Tron's ain't for me, nor is visual novels for me, but it's for somebody out there. Somebody's gonna like it.
Not this one.
Then we have the first of what feels like mini detective/police games.
Yeah.
I like this.
I mean, is it like 4, 5?
It feels like the last Nintendo Direct was filled with nothing but farming games. This one's
Right.
filled with nothing but detective games.
There's a trend going on. What's next? We're gonna have a bunch of Sims next year.
Bro, no way. Stop.
No.
Yeah, Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. I remember seeing this game like many years ago on the DS.
Yeah.
I never bought it or anything, but I remember it's a very visual, striking cover.
Yeah, because I remember like it was games like Ghost Trick for me that like visually there's this weird pocket of DS games where like visually you're like, what the fuck is that? I want to play that. I probably might not enjoy it, but I want to play it just to see it. And like Ghost Trick was one of them because it looks like the art style looks kind of cool, and just like the mechanics of you being a ghost possessing shit to figure out how you die. It like that's a really cool premise, but I can never find a damn copy of the game. And another game
it was
that
called
was like
what again?
Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective.
Yeah, Ghost Trick.
Okay.
And like the Professor Layton games, like those have a striking visual style on the DS, and it was kind of like off the beaten path. Um, it's a rhythm game, I think. Electroplankton
Oh,
or
I remember
something
that
like
one.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I was wanting to play that too, and I was like, never anywhere.
DS. I think the
But I'm
DS.
just saying that just because Ghost Trick was like in that pocket.
I think the DS always had a lot of like great games with art styles because of how weak the hardware was. Like the DS wasn't really good in 3D visuals like the PSP was.
No.
So I feel like a lot of developers just found ways to make games look really good on the DS, and that way was making them look good was having these weird art styles or these like really unique art styles and a lot of 2D heavy stuff to make it things pop.
Like The World Ends With You.
Yeah, that's another
Like
one.
that's like their age of Persona 5, honestly. Like that's how like visually stylish that game is for that time period. As edgy as it was.
Mm. Well, I for one am excited for this game because I was a huge, not was, still am a huge Ace Attorney fan. And that we have one of the creators of Ace Attorney on this game. Super
Oh, I
excited.
did not know that.
Hmm.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I just love like I said earlier, I love puzzles and strategies and stuff like that. And now we have this element that I'm so fond with, with playing Ace Attorney or Phoenix Wright and all that stuff. I look forward to this, as well as the next one that we're going to talk about.
Clayton, before we go to that, unplug your mic and replug it. I'm getting like a high pitched sound coming out whenever you talk. Don't break Discord.
Discord will break, boy. Discord will break.
And it'll break in pieces.
All right, try talking again, Clayton.
Mosaiku kakara hitotsu.
It's still there. I don't know why.
Is it the game?
No, it's a high pitched.
Yeah, I hear it too.
I hear it too.
Damn.
It's like every time he starts talking.
Yeah, it's a particular pitch.
Un momento, por favor.
Maybe back off from the mic a bit, and maybe that helps.
Before you know, you're gonna see the mic in his mouth.
All right, speak.
The fitness gram pacer test is on.
It's still there.
It's still there.
What?
I don't know why. You usually don't have this problem.
I don't. Hold up. Well, I'll mute myself. You guys can keep talking. I'll be back.
Okay. Next up we have DECAPOLICE. This is a really like out of nowhere thing.
Is this the Danganronpa people?
Was it? Was that Danganronpa or was it was it level 5?
It's level 5. It's level 5. So
Okay.
for me, that's Nino Kuni.
Because there was a lot of level 5 games in here, actually. And this was like the first of like 4 of them. Again, it's not for me, but it looked cool.
It looked like there was a lot going on there. Like they were showing the detective elements and how each character had a very specific power to solve a crime or help solve the crime. And there was like turn-based combat in there for some fucking reason. There was a lot going on. I mean, but it looked interesting.
It looked busy.
Very busy. It looked very busy.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot going on.
Okay, is the buzz there still, or?
Yeah. All right, we're just gonna have to live with it. Ew, don't.
Oh, you heard
Don't
it. Oh, you hear that?
Don't do that faceless sound.
Oh my god, DECAPOLICE.
Disappointment has
Yep.
settled in.
Yeah, we hear you.
You
John.
said you said the funny
Yep.
F word.
Yeah, Clayton. Yeah, we understand. Yep.
We understand.
Yep. We
The,
get it.
all of the nothing that's coming out of your microphone. I feel it.
Yes. Splendid vocal.
Like those times you're on PlayStation chat, you're having a whole conversation with yourself, and nobody's talking to you, and you're like getting mad like, because people are ignoring you.
I know I'm muted. I'm trying to fix this.
I'm like, do y'all agree or not? Fuck.
Okay, how about now?
It's still
Let's do it, Chat.
I'm muting myself again.
There you
Continue.
go.
Well,
Let's move on.
Okay.
It only that's when you speak.
Right, that's the thing. It only when he speaks, that's when it happens. Like when you're not talking to the microphone, we don't hear it at all. It is literally only when you open your mouth.
How about now?
It was gone for a second. Speak again.
Speak easy, speak to me.
Well, it's a lot less prominent as before. I don't know what you did.
I literally just turned down my game, bro.
That's see. I thought it was the gain. I thought it was the gain. I know what I'm talking about.
Now I'm questioning why was it so high? Anyway.
Anything else you have to say about DECAPOLICE before we move on?
That busy ass game,
No.
I'll give it a shot.
It's a maybe.
I feel bad for saying this for this next game. But this next game kind of disappointed me. Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and the Lost Demon. And when they showed it off at the Game Awards, I was like, "Oh, I'm down for a Bayonetta spin-off game or whatever." But then when they showed the game footage and so that you don't actually attack as Bayonetta, you control the demons and the demons attack. So it's more of it's an action game, but not really. It's like a top-down action game, and I was just kind of like, oh, that made me a lot less.
The wind out of your sails.
Say it again.
Took the wind out of your sails.
Yeah, I was just like, oh,
I mean,
okay.
It's if you care about the lore, cool.
I mean,
I
I do because I did like the story of Bayonetta 1 and 2. I didn't play 3 yet, but the story of 1 and 2 is kind of like a popcorn flick movie in game form. Like it's just like the story is entertaining because it's so crazy, it's so insane, and it's like there is some like plot elements here and there, but you do it just for like how extreme and off the wall things get in the story.
I've only played like literally the opening like 15 minutes, and there's a lot of style.
That is a hell of an opening too, boy.
That's a hell of an opening, boy. I was like, oh my, yes. Like that shit reminded me of like the beginning of like when I think of like huge like get your attention openings to action games. I'm talking about like God of War 3. Where that shit is just nonstop, perfect fucking action from section to section, and that's how that opening for Bayonetta 1 is. Like, quite honestly, it's shit's like flipping and stuff, and like you're on a clock,
and like they had this narration.
It was great.
They had this epic narration, and the music is fucking
yeah.
Intro to Bayonetta 1 is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a lot less excited on this one from what we were seeing, and I feel bad for it because when I looked at other people's like reactions online, a lot of other people were like very excited. A lot of people was more excited on the game because it's a different take for Bayonetta, and I'm just like, Clayton, you look very confused right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to do something with my screen. I don't know what is going on. I'm just having technical difficulties on my screen.
This is just not your day.
It's not. I've been up since 3.
You can tell it was I.
You look, you just came from the gym.
Working on my fitness. Nah, I'm a fat ass. I didn't work out in like quite some time.
You could have just took the compliment and just like, yeah, man, you know, trying to get these gains up.
You know.
No, I'm a fetish.
Moving on. This is such a weird announcement. The Splatoon 3 DLC. Why is part of the paid DLC essentially just a skin for the overworld? Like,
is that what that is?
Yeah, that's the area from the very first game. I remember that because I played a lot of the original Splatoon. That's a hub world in the first Splatoon, and it was like, dog, why is this part of the expansion pass? And that's wave 1. I'm like, dog, did y'all not have anything else? Yeah.
So wait. Is Expansion Pass their only line of DLC right now?
Yeah, well, okay. So Splatoon has always been like a live service game. So they're constantly adding maps and stuff and modes. That's a constant thing, just with the basic experience of the game. But in the past, the expansion pass was usually just DLC, like a single player DLC. Because, you know, you don't want to really add weapons into the DLC because that messes up with the parity with, you know, the online multiplayer aspect. But dog, a lobby shouldn't be DLC. Like,
yeah, that's just literally just a skin, like new modes or maps or anything.
Yeah, because pretty much all the other stuff you can access in the game, you can access in them bringing back Splatoon 1's like hub world.
Not even the maps from 1.
Well, the way they do it, sometimes they reuse old maps into new games. They put them in rotation, but Splatoon is always in rotation for maps. So you may see maps in 1 and 2 just thrown in the mix with the new maps anyway.
Okay, I got you.
And then they tease the actual story DLC. So it's just weird decision. Disney.
I don't have any tips for the game, so I
didn't imagine y'all did. Disney Illusion Island. I thought this junk looked phenomenal.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna tell you what I did when I seen this, and I was like, I seen Splatoon. I was like, okay, this isn't for me, but I can appreciate that it exists. Okay, whatever. And then this come on, and this is literally what I did. I was just sitting here, and I'm already tired from getting off of work, and I see this Disney game, and I'm thinking that Nintendo has sold out, so I have went like this, and I laid my head down because I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and then I picked my head up. I was like, oh no, it's going to be a generic Disney game for the Switch, and they're just advertising it. And then I saw that shit looked like fucking Rayman Legends. I was like, hold up, that looks really fucking good.
I love that they're all using the old designs for the characters too. Like, I love these. Well,
they're not actually old. It's actually a new design. Like I've seen these designs recently, and basically it's a harken back to the old style. But they've been using these designs for like Disney shorts in the last few years.
Okay.
And those shorts are funny. Whoever are the writers for that, congratulations.
The art design looks beautiful. The flow of the animation, because another thing is I
gave this a little slower.
Yeah,
like,
well,
like a little...
it is kind of harking back into, like, I think they call it like the rubber band animation, where everything is like super loose and disjointed, and everyone like their individual limbs feel like they have like weight to them, so they're, you know, when they're walking, all of this is like constantly moving and stuff like that. I hope the game is good. Because what they show looks really cool. I just hope the game itself is good. It's when you have licensed games, you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
I mean, typically when it looks this stylistically good, it's rarely ever bad because they put a lot of fucking effort into it. But, you know, we'll see.
Time will tell. But I am interested.
Yeah, as am I, definitely. And it's a multiplayer game too, four player multiplayer. Hell yeah!
Oh yeah, that's another nice
Yeah.
feature. I'm just gonna breeze through this one. Fire Emblem Engage expansion pass DLC. I love Fire Emblem. I just haven't gotten engaged. I just don't have that time commitment right now for a Fire Emblem game.
I'll get to it whenever I get to it.
So that's why I'm gonna skip this one. But the DLC pass was like, this is the second wave. I'm like, the second wave.
Like,
the game just came out in January.
like where happened to the first wave? Like shit.
Then there's Harmony, Fall of Reverie.
That didn't look interesting to me. I'm sorry.
If
I
think isn't this the game from Don't Nod?
I don't know who they are. Oh no, this
Yes,
didn't
you
look
do.
interesting to me. It was just kind of like okay.
Hold on, let me make sure.
I had zero interest in these.
Yeah, this is by Don't Nod. Don't Nod is the people who've worked on the Life is Strange series.
Oh,
Okay.
It just
Yeah, I
don't know
did love
why.
me.
It just-
I did love me some Life is
Yeah.
Strange.
And they're like the original, developers of Life is Strange. So before the other studio, I forgot the other studio's name, before they took over the series, they did the original, Life is Strange 1 and 2. And they also did Tell Me Why, which is the Life is Strange-esque game that was exclusive on Xbox. So I like their stuff. I like their sense of storytelling. I love their sense of atmosphere. And this looks really, really cool to me. So it's a new different like art style that they really not kind of used to, but that we don't usually see from them. Usually they do like a realistic-esque art style, but this is definitely more with the 2D stuff. Looks really cool.
it looks like a really high quality Saturday morning cartoon ish deal. Not even really sad. Like it looked like it would belong on like Cartoon Network or I don't know Disney XD nowadays. It was that good of a quality. So it's not my game per se, but it looks interesting.
That's
for
the
me.
phrase. Yeah, that's the phrase I will use for me as well.
There's a few that they did like in a sizzle reel. Octopath Traveler 2, We Love Katamari reroll, Sea of Stars, and Omega
Katamari,
Strikers.
boy, yes.
I know DeYante is the resident Katamari fan. I guess Max is too.
And excuse me. When I was playing it the other day, I'm sorry. When I was playing it the other day, I was definitely kind of like starting to understand why the game was as popular as it was early on in like Eastern cultures, because it's just how weird and of its time it is during the time that game came out, because that's when shit like Bo was like absolutely ridiculous Japanese culture comedy, and that game is kind of like it. And so if we could continue to promote how cool Katamari is, maybe we might get a new one from Namco. I would really like that, like a current generation like revival or something of Katamari Damacy. New levels, some music of the same stylistic oddness that is the Katamari Damacy original soundtrack. Like these aren't songs that are commercial, like they're specifically for the game and they're weird.
Yeah, like there'll be times where you play it on PlayStation and we'll do the screen watch thing. That music is really good. It is really good. And that's pretty much all I know about the series, is that it has good music.
Some good ass music, but what's happening in the game? Don't ask me shit. I mean, yeah, you're creating stars and stuff because your dad was drunk, but when you're actually creating the actual ball, the Katamari and stuff, like you're picking up like small shit like thumbtacks, and then 2 minutes later you're picking up a ball of yarn, and then 2 minutes later you're picking up a dog, and 2 minutes later you're picking up a human being, and then another 2 minutes and you're picking up a boulder. Like it just gets gradually bigger. It's insane. I love it. It's a very cathartic game. It can be a very relaxing game.
It scratches an inch of my brain.
Oh, Octopath, I get to it when I get to it.
I think they put a demo out.
Yeah,
like they did for the other ones.
Sea of Stars though.
Sea of Stars looks really cool.
I peeped that when you know how the completionist, he does his Indie Land thingy, like a stream or whatever, right? He goes and talks with developers with like really cool indie games that he would be interested in or whatever. And because he's like real knee deep in the indie scene. And this is one of the games that actually was on the show. And that shit looks amazing. Like the pixel art style is like very proto triggery, and like it has that old school in SNES 16-bit style to it. It looks great. And I think the music is by a pretty prominent composer as well too.
Yeah, they name dropped him, so that
Something,
was like
yeah. It was like somebody important. Can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
Music will be good, basically saying.
Music good.
Slick, it reminds me of Devil Survivor. Slick.
I need to fucking go back and play that.
Same
I
here.
barely started it.
Sea of Stars, okay.
Moving on, there was the Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection. Cool for people who like Etrian Odyssey.
I mean, I never beat it. The one that I have 4. I mean, I got some pretty good mileage out of it, but after a while, it's one of those games. If you're in the middle of doing something in that goddamn game,
and you try to come
better
back,
not drop it.
right?
You better finish it. Cause ooh boy, I got that real bad in this game, and I was like, I am not playing this shit from the beginning. So yeah.
I remember I played the demo like on 3DS, and then that's when that was my first experience with a dungeon crawler RPG, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, and never thought about it again.
I mean, okay, granted, for like RPG fans like me, it's a extremely good game because it has all the basic needs of like turn-based strategy and stuff. It's just I can understand if the map building and shit can be very cumbersome and annoying, and if you fuck that up,
that's one of the things that's I'm not gonna sit here and make my own map.
Yeah, if you fuck that up, you're gonna be in that screen for like a good hour, and you're gonna be fixing that shit, and I just had like Vietnam flashbacks. Like it's just one section where I was stuck on a fucking. I fucked up the map so bad, and I couldn't remember how it was supposed to be, and I went over that bitch for like a week, and I couldn't do anything. But
that sounds like a lot of work.
This remaster collection though has auto mapping.
Yeah,
so you don't have to do that. But you can if you can turn it off. So people that do not want to deal with that, they can still enjoy truly the dungeon crawling aspect of it. So I'm all for it. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Then we finally got a new release date for Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. I'm excited for this because I never played Advance Wars games, but I like strategy games. It's by Intelligent Systems, so that'll be cool to jump into that and try that for the first time.
Absolutely. Got the same thing. I remember like I always seen promotional material like on like 4Kids a box and shit. God, they were showing promotion. I know they showed a commercial for one of them damn games. and that shit was like amazing because I had a Game Boy Advance at the time too, and I had just like two games. I had like Pokemon Ruby because it was Mike's copy of Ruby, and I had a Yu-Gi-Oh game because I was like really into Yu-Gi-Oh at the time too, and I actually wanted to learn how the card game went. But I never got Advance Wars growing up. It was just one of those games where apparently it just grew legs and walked away, and I see why, because those are some limited ass copies, and now a copy now is costing hundreds of dollars.
Oh no.
Crazy.
Probably.
Um,
Let's find out. But yes, I'm looking for it. I would like to buy that soon.
yeah, so that's coming out in a few months. Then there's Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe.
Yes. Seeing as much as I love Kirby Return to Dreamland, I always love me a good Kirby game.
Again, not for me, but I'm happy for those it's happy for. So now, so in this direct, this at first it started off strong with Pikmin, and then it kind of felt like it was taking a nosedive down and gotten worse and worse. But I think the up part of the direct was the announcement of the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games being added to Nintendo Switch Online. Which, what took them so long? First of all, what took them so long?
Yes.
Two, this was leaked like last year, like the middle of last year. So it was leaked the middle of last year, and everybody was like, "Well, we know this is coming. When is it coming, Nintendo?" And so just like every Nintendo Direct, people was waiting for them to finally announce Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games coming, and they just never did until now. I don't know why now was the time for them to be like, "All right, here you go." I don't know about y'all.
Fucking stupid.
For me, the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pass, it never interested me because they had the Sega Genesis games, which were released like a million times, and I owned them in different capacities, either through Steam, through Genesis Collection, through the Sega Genesis Mini. So I wasn't interested in those games. And despite the Nintendo 64 being my first console, a lot of those Nintendo 64 games I missed out on, and I just don't have nostalgia for. So I was like, yeah, I'm not paying this extra money just for some N64 ROMs, but I may pay some extra money for some Game Boy Advance ROMs. Because I do love me some Game Boy Advance. I do love me some Game Boy Advance, boy. And
Game Boy Advance. Let them put Sonic Advance on there, boy. They got my cash.
Boy, they do that.
They got my cash.
I will pay for that bitch twice.
Yes, bro. Yes.
I'll pay for that bitch twice.
Bro, give me the Sonic Advance game, Sonic Battle. Give me freaking there's like a weird Digimon fighting game. Give me that junk.
I know which one you're talking about too. I can't remember the title.
Give me Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors. Give me the Pokemon games, Golden Sun, the Shining Force remake. Like there's so many great like Game Boy Advance games.
Yes.
I'm surprised they putting Golden Sun on this bitch.
Right.
Bruh, and look, you know what? I want them to get weird. I want them to get weird of it. So like they've already shown that they're going to get weird. Because one of the Game Boy Color games they announced was Alone in the Dark. Dog, I didn't even know there was an Alone in the Dark game for Game Boy Color.
I'm about to play it.
Bruh,
no, everybody.
You know another game?
I'm about to play it.
Wait, bruh. Alone in the fucking dark. No way.
Alone in the Dark.
Like everybody's reaction was like, "What the fuck? What?"
It's by Infogrames.
Oh,
Gotta love it. Another game I really want them to put on. Have any of y'all played Gunstar Heroes?
Yes.
No, but I heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They made there was a remake of Gunstar Heroes
game GBA. Yep.
And that shit was fun as fuck. I need them to go ahead and put that on there.
This is how weird I want them to get. Because again, Nintendo Switch Online has proven they've done weird. They'll put weird games on there. One, I want to see Grand Theft Auto Advance, which is a surprisingly decent game. It's top down, but it's actually pretty good.
But yeah, because it's just like the original too.
Well, no, the original two are rough, but GTA Advance is actually playable. Um, and then the stuff that they did in GTA Advance, they kind of took into Chinatown Wars.
Out of Town
Um,
Wars was fun,
yeah,
boy.
Chinatown
That
Wars
shit was
was
fun
really
as heck.
good. But
Mm.
if you didn't know this, the GBA for whatever reason has a good handful of first-person shooters. It's a lot of first-person shooters in the GBA. They've ported Doom 1 and 2, Wolfenstein.
But there's only a D-pad on there. How do you
Like,
turn?
dude.
It's they somehow make it work because they use the left and R as like strafing and strafing and
No.
turning. Like you use a D-pad to like turn, but you can use the L and R to actually strafe.
Okay, got it.
And
Huh.
but not only that, there's X versus Sever, which was like a movie. It was like a movie, but they made like 3 GBA games based off of that movie, and they're all first-person shooters. There's a GoldenEye first-person shooter on there, and there's a bunch of other first-person shooters on the GBA. It is wild, and I played some of them back in the day, and it's cool from the standpoint of our first-person shooter on a Game Boy Advance. But I want them to get weird with stuff like that. Throw Doom on there. Play Doom on the GBA on Nintendo Switch Online. Just get stupid with it. Dog.
That would be very interesting. I would like to do that
Yeah.
myself. I love
Bruh.
playing Doom multiple times.
And playing that shit on my smartwatch, playing that shit on my smart fridge, playing that shit. Bruh.
Playing original Doom on my Nintendo Switch. But I'm playing not the NES version, but the fucking GBA.
Yeah. Wow.
But you know, the games that they put on there are really good to start off with. I will say that.
I gotta say, one thing that I was geeked for was Mega Man Battle Circuit.
Mm.
I am very
Yes.
much geeked for Mega Man Battle Circuit. If y'all haven't played those games, they're seriously fun. They're
Yes.
hard as fuck. But it's that old school type of hard, bro. You know those games they were
Ooh.
unfairly hard?
Dang, you know
That's what that shit was.
Dang, you just opened Pandora's box because I just thought about it. There's a lot of Mega Man games on a Game Boy too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
They have like 5 on the Game Boy. Then there's like 2 Mega Man X versions on the Game Boy Color, and then you just have all the GBA Mega Man games. That's a lot you could put on there.
That's a lot of Mega Man.
So I'm excited about them adding the Game Boy stuff into there, because there's so much you could just do with that.
Mm.
So that was a highlight. Then it got even better with the Metroid Prime Remastered.
When is payday?
This was another
That
one.
would-
Like, what
I
took them
would-
so long to do this?
What took them so goddamn long, bro? Metroid Prime, bro. It was so goddamn-
Wednesday
it
the
looks- it looks-
15th. Wednesday the 15th. It is gonna be installed.
And it's,
Wednesday the 15th.
it's a surprisingly good price too. It's only $40,
Right.
Love it.
which is
Like-
like rare L for Nintendo. I mean, rare
Metroid-
W for Nintendo. Sorry, rare W.
Red W. I was about to say that's a Dubski.
And Metroid Prime was the third game that I played Christmas morning when I got my GameCube. So I had Mario Kart Double Dash, Luigi's Mansion, and Metroid Prime, bro.
That sounds like
Like-
an amazing Christmas,
Fuck.
boy.
And that shit was
That's
phenomenal.
great.
That's because I
That
got
Christmas-
honor roll that fucking quarter too, boy.
You worked hard for that.
And you,
I worked
and you
for that
love
fucking
to, you love to
GameCube.
fucking see it, bro. My Christmas Smash Bros. Melee,
Ooh.
and boy, was I playing the fuck out of that.
So I have personal attachments to Metroid Prime 1, and I've beaten
Yes.
that game at least 3 or 4 fucking times. That game is long, but I just love it. Like I love the atmosphere. Like I think that was my first person shooter for one. Actually, it was my first person shooter. even though it's not a very good. As a first-person shooter, Metroid Prime is not a good game.
It's a first-person action game.
No. And Nintendo games, you can't use the fucking right stick to aim, so you always gotta Metroid Prime. You move and shoot, and you hold R, and you that's where you can free aim.
Well,
that shit is not efficient.
The
controller is trash.
Well,
they fixed it.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, from what people covered, it's dual stick in this. So this remastered, they allow you to use both sticks like a normal FPS.
Yeah,
because now you have a pro controller, so I guess that works.
Yes, because Nintendo in that era forgot that we have two thumbs. They thought we just had one, and
you try playing a first-person shooter on the GameCube, please. Try playing a first-person shooter on the GameCube. With that shitty ass C stick, no.
That fucking nipple. Fucking yellow nipple,
bruh. The only game that works for is Smash Bros, bro. That
right.
The only game that works for is Smash Bros.
Until you come in contact with a controller where that bitch loose as fuck and it just spins around when you shake the controller.
Oh no.
But yes, so Metroid Prime, it's getting bought.
It's definitely for people like me who's never played any of the games.
Yes.
So it's especially for people like me, so they can actually experience the series before 4, if it ever comes out.
Make sure I hope everybody got their pre-orders canceled or refunded back.
I still can't believe Nintendo dropped a PNG of Metroid Prime 4, and that's the only thing we've heard for 6 years.
And we have people that said, "Shut up and take my money."
Right,
off of a PNG.
Think about it. Since the time that Metroid Prime 4 was announced, we've had Metroid Prime 5, we've had Metroid Prime Remastered, and did the remake of 2 happen between that 2? Or is that before Metroid Prime 4?
Remake of 2.
Yeah, on the 3DS.
Remake.
Oh yeah, that was way before. That was way before Dread and
No, I'm saying, was that before they announced Metroid Prime 4 though?
I'm not sure.
Well, anyway, it's been ridiculous.
I don't think it was, but
that has been this long of a time, and they've technically released 2 games in the same franchise.
Right. Very weird of them, and they've been very, very, very hush hush. They used to be pretty good with saying, "Hey, we're still hard at working. We're working on the game. We had to redo the studio, this, that, and the third." And that past couple of years now, they've been kind of MIA. I would love to know if the game exists.
Keeping up with the detective theme, this is the one by the Danganronpa devs, Master Detective Archives Rain Code.
It looks like Persona and Danganronpa had a baby.
Yeah,
that's a lot of style.
It is.
Wait, no, I think this is the game where I was there's turn-based combat and all that extra jazz in it.
I think so.
I need to look at the video.
There's that. Then another GameCube era game, Button Kaido 1 and 2 HD remastered.
Fuck yes. Because that game, both of those, well, mostly one, but both of those games are extremely underrated. No one talks about them.
I always hear people talking about them because they want Nintendo to do something with them, since it's a Nintendo-owned IP, and Nintendo acts like it doesn't exist. I've only heard of it because of that, because the people are do something with the series.
Yeah, and I played both of them from beginning to end, and from what I remember, I think I remember loving the first game, and the second game was kind of meh, but they were really good stories, and they were very unique for the time. Because prior to that, I had played Tales of Symphonia, which is another groundbreaking JRPG of its time, and also so happens to be on the GameCube too.
Someone's either watching a hentai or anime, and I don't know which it
Or-
is,
or
both.
I heard that. Chotomate kudasai.
I just heard high pitched Japanese voice.
I just heard a lot of kawaii desu.
I heard the ara ara.
Oh my god.
Clayton, we've talked about this. Stop.
Where's that high pitched sound when I needed it?
Moving on. Fantasy Life 2, The Girl Who Steals Time.
Who the fuck cares?
I guess
No.
Fantasy Life was popular enough for them to do a sequel.
Who the fuck was clamoring for another Fantasy Life? Did it do that well on the 3DS?
I guess
For
so.
them to say, yes, let us bring it back.
And that's
It's
just
a
Who the
that is-
fuck cares?
that is such a head ass
Oh my
title too.
God.
The Girl Who Steals Time.
It was time. And the announcer, he even sounded like he wasn't feeling that one all that much. He had more fun with the fucking fantasy fashion dreamer trailer than he did with this.
You said it was called what again?
The Girl Who Steals Time.
No, Fantasy Life.
Yeah, Fantasy
Yeah.
Life 2.
The girl who steals
So
time.
there's that. Then there was a nothing trailer for Professor Layton in the New World of Steam.
Maybe it's just him turning the fuck around.
Exactly. New adventure. New adventure. Look back.
He
23
literally just
seconds.
turned around.
He's just, hey. You're like,
23
what?
seconds of nothing.
Right.
Okay.
For what reason?
He was like, okay. Yeah, I could have just posted as a Twitter post or something like.
All right.
Exactly. A whole direct segment for 23
I
seconds.
mean, I get it. Yes, it Professor Layton has its audience, but that was such a cock tease. Like, what?
Exactly.
And that's like,
That was like
the fourth
half the-
detective game in the direct.
See, I told you, there was like 4 or 5 of them.
Ridiculous. Then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the next wave, but they didn't show all the tracks. They just showed one track and Birdo.
One track, one character. That's all you get.
Well, we didn't know we
Take
were
it or
getting
leave it.
characters, so there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like,
but it's just like, why show one track when you know you're going to release 8? Just show more, like.
Nintendo questions that need to be answered.
Okay.
Mario Kart 8 is also on life support.
Well, no. That game is not on life support. That game will never die. Bro, did you see?
Yeah,
Did you see the sales of that game recently?
No, I didn't, but I know they're high. I
Bruh,
know they're high
the
because
game
Mario
is-
Kart 8.
Bro, it passed like 50 million sales
God damn.
for a single game on a
Every
single
man-
console.
Bro, we're gonna
Every
have Mario
man,
Kart
woman,
8.
and child will have a copy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in
We're
the household.
gonna have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for forevermore, bro. There's not gonna be a Mario Kart. It doesn't.
Bro, they're
It's
gonna
not going to.
they're gonna pull a square and do Mario Kart 8 Deluxe 2.
All right.
Ugh.
What the fuck?
Yuck.
Two. It's
How
a
does
two
that
got
Mario
me.
Kart 8 Deluxe?
Deluxe.
Two.
Two. Like, let's call it 10. Freaking
You just
Deluxe.
call it Mario Kart 16?
No, it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
2.
2. It's the sequel to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's not Mario Kart 9. It's just the sequel to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Is this DLC? No, this is a full price $60 game.
Ugh.
And then of course, as usual, I think I was like listening to podcasts and they're like, this is the 4th direct that ended with Tears of the Kingdom. And it ends off with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
So
The
I'm gonna be the oddball and say I have no emotional attachment to Breath of the Wild, even though I played a little bit of it.
oh wow.
The game's hard as balls.
I mean,
So I have to like really like sit down with the game and like stick with it because I'm getting my ass beat. So
how many
I was gonna
hours did
say,
you put into
I'll-
the game that you're still getting your ass beat? Because Breath of the Wild is one of those games, like if you go where you're not supposed to go, Yeah,
You're gonna get your
gonna
shit
get
thrashed. Yes.
Okay.
like because there's it like that when you get past the Great Plains in the very first part of the game. There's like this area like super close to where you like first start the game, and you're just like da 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 da, and you get one shot it like instantly.
Yeah,
and you're like,
and that's when
do not go over there. I'm gonna go the opposite way.
I did that, and like when I started, I was like, okay, fuck this. So I just set it down. I was like, why am I getting my ass beat?
Based on what I've seen in the trailer, it seems like the hook is something with Link's hand. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's becoming Nightmare from Soul Calibur or some shit.
He uses that to like control elements. It looks like the crafting system's obviously like been like upgraded because now we see him like building cars and shit and driving and like flying machines.
This nigga has a fucking driver's license now.
It's just gonna be.
There's like that dramatic.
He already is
shot.
driving a motorcycle.
There's like that dramatic shot of him like falling and Zelda reaching out to him.
It's reaching for right. On some Spider-Man shit.
Like,
I mean, you can't lie. The trailer was amazing.
Yeah, the trailer.
Don't get me wrong.
It's
like I haven't fully enjoyed Breath of the Wild yet, so I can't say I want.
Anybody else feel that it's weird that Zelda has a British accent?
I kind of like her with a British accent, though.
It kind of works, though.
No.
I don't know. It's just
even though she's the only one that has a British accent, because none of the
right.
other characters have a British accent.
Right. I like that the Zelda isn't super dainty either.
Yeah. But
they made her into a headstrong protagonist.
And like the announcer at the beginning of the trailer was just like, I want them dead, or like I want the kingdom vanquished. I was like, all right, chill out, Saturday morning cartoon villain. All right, come on now.
He's trying to be very dark, and it's making him sound very cheesy.
Edgelord,
and you know they had that little. I like
that shit.
Reverse.
I love that shit.
I like it too. It felt unsettling, and I'm just waiting for the moment where there's somebody's going to find that audio, reverse it, or find a hidden message in there, or it's just going to be a bunch of gibberish. But
welcome to it just says welcome Nintendo, but it said backwards or some shit.
But it sounded cool, like the audio effect to it. So I and most like a lot of people who are like starting to like analyze it, they do say it seems like this game is going to be darker than Breath of the Wild. And
physically, because that trailer was dark. Like it was
dark as fuck. Both trailers were dark as fuck.
Very dark. Like the brightness was down. Like not dark in tone, dark visibly.
But yeah, I mean, what more can be said about Tears of the Kingdom? It is like the longest. I think people said it's like, I think people like took like the years in terms of like the release schedule is like the longest developed Zelda game ever. Because if you think about if they started right after Breath of the Wild finished, that's what, 6 years.
That means this shit gonna be good.
It better be.
This shit gonna be good.
So that's the Nintendo Direct. Which also leads us into this last little bit of discussion, evolving Tears of the Kingdom. So this started before the Direct, where people noticed that Nintendo took off the pre-orders for Tears of the Kingdom. That came off. And then there was like a brief moment where the pre-orders went back up, but instead of $59.99, it was $69.99 for
any number
the game. And the internet got into a tizzy. And then it was revealed after this Direct ended that yes, the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom will be a $70 games.
Everybody went, hey.
Okay.
You can't do that.
So I wanted to have like a little conversation on the value of games. So yeah, first of all, yes, game development is hard. It's very expensive. But when it came to here's my problem with Nintendo. So I'm gonna have a small rant. Xbox held off into upping the price of the games up till like recently, like a few months ago. There was just like, yeah, we're upping them up to $70 now, because for all of the Xbox Series X's life up until like a few months ago, all Microsoft first party games were $60 still. But Microsoft recently just said they're upping the price. I don't have a problem with that, only because Game Pass as a service exists. So because Game Pass exists, you're still getting those games for a discounted, price, because you're doing the whole subscription service. And then Sony just right off the bat, like as soon as PS5 came out, all right, these games are $70. They started a console generation with that. Yes, it sucks to pay $10 more for a brand new video game, but the problem that I have with Nintendo doing this is, one, the hardware doesn't justify the $70. I cannot tell you how many Nintendo Switch games that I just straight up stopped playing because of performance. Like I want to really enjoy Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, but I just stopped because the performance of the game is so terrible. Like, it's not fun playing that game when the frame rate dips into the 20s. It's unacceptable that Pokemon got released in the way that it did. It's unacceptable.
That's a fact.
When you see certain games like Bayonetta 3, which could use a lot more headroom, a lot more graphical fidelity, and you see that it's being like constrained by the means of the Nintendo Switch. So it's
then you see and then you see a new Nintendo Switch get released. You get a new Nintendo Switch release, the OLED, that doesn't do shit but slightly increase the screen. Like,
well, I've heard the screen
gives you
difference.
Adjustable stand.
I heard the screen the screen is a big upgrade, but the thing is, I mostly play on docked, so I'm not going to get much out of that. But also, that has nothing to do with the fucking performance of the games.
Right.
You make
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
saying. Like, none of the internals are changing. Nothing is being upgraded. Nothing is being upscaled. Nothing is significantly worth the extra price that the OLED is charging, which justifies the reason why people should be upset that Nintendo wants to charge $70 for a game as to test the waters.
And that's what it is. It's like they're testing the waters, but it's like your hardware doesn't justify a $7 price tag like Xbox or like the Series X or the PlayStation 5. And then on top of that, the Sony and Microsoft routinely discounts their prices of the games. So a game that comes out at $70 is not going to remain at $70. 2-3 years down the line, that game's going to be down to $40, and eventually it'll be down to $20, and then eventually they just start giving it away. All right, it's
here it is.
It's the PlayStation Plus game for this month. It's the games with gold for this month. But the most that you see Nintendo games drop in price is like $20 at the most. And so it's like, when you look at a figure like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe selling 50 million copies, the vast majority of those 50 million copies sold were at full price, just because Nintendo just does not discount their games. So the fact that you're paying $70 for Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, means it's probably going to be $70 5 years from now, and they'll still sell that game for full price. And that's my biggest problem, because Nintendo games do not go down in terms of the actual price.
And
well,
the thing
at least
is
we have white Joy-Cons.
Say it again, Clayton.
I said, at least we have white Joy-Cons now.
That will probably break in 2 years.
They still that I heard still fucking drift. So
Yep.
And what bothers me too is it's like they know that we are going to fucking buy this goddamn game because it's Zelda. The name Zelda is attached to many people, and so the game will sell on name alone. Yes, it's gonna suck, but nothing's gonna change unless we would speak with our wallets. But even I would say that would be to the detriment of the game series. Because if this game doesn't sell well, considering its long development, we would. Ain't no telling how long it would be before we see another large scale Zelda game of this magnitude. Because best believe, if this shit is $70 and this shit don't got content bursting out of the seams of it, and it's supposed to be one of the biggest file sizes of a fucking Nintendo Switch game, then hopefully that justifies the case.
But I mean, here's the thing: like, it's going to be packed with content. Like, when I dropped Breath of the Wild, and the only reason I dropped Breath of the Wild is because I played the game really late to the Switch's life. But Three Houses came out, and I just loved Fire Emblem, so that took up all my time. But with me there's like 4 big things that you have to do in the game. I did 3 of them, and I was like about to start the last thing. Dog, that was like 60, 70 hours in the game with me about to go to this last like pillar of the map. And then that's still not including the actual big, dungeon thing that you unlock on your way to go to Ganon. So there was still a lot of content in there. And even then, even doing that, there's a lot to explore on the map. There's so much of the little shrines and things like that to do. So it's a game that's easily hundreds of hours of gameplay.
Yes.
Like very easily is hundreds of hours of gameplay. And like when I was listening to Kind of Funny podcast earlier this week, one of the hosts on their Blessing, he was just like, "Oh, I'll gladly pay the $70 for this game because I know, what is in there." But he also said, "Oh, I would pay more money for this game." because of the content. But again, it's I feel it's the precedent of what you're getting hardware wise. That's my issue. Yes, content is going to be there, but you could say that for a lot of different games. Like you all, I'm not into it, but you all play Apex Legends a whole lot. That's technically a free game that you all have poured hundreds and hundreds of hours into. You may pay for the battle pass here and there, but battle pass is what, $20 every season or so?
Hell no, shit, 10.
So that's even cheaper. So you're investing $10 every few months for this game, but you get hours and hours of content out of it. So that's justified in that case. But when it comes to Apex Legends, it's an online community, so of course they need to support it with content. But it's also a good-looking game, a game that runs well, and a game that's been scaled for modern systems. And like I feel like it puts a shitty precedent, because what if the next Mario Odyssey game, like what if they do a sequel to Mario Odyssey 2, and that's $70? I love Mario Odyssey, played the hell out of the game, but Breath of the Wild is something you're going to get hundreds of hours out of. Odyssey, you're probably going to get 40 hours if you're like doing everything. Mm-hmm. And the main story is probably going to be like less than 20, just going through the main game. So, I don't know. I feel strongly about that in terms of the value that Nintendo's bringing forth for a $70 Nintendo Switch game.
Yeah. But it's like Breath of the Wild.
Right on that.
Like Legend of Zelda, I know that Tears of the Kingdom is probably would be worth more than $70. But games in the future being $70. No. Just no.
Not until they get a new system.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly.
I mean, literally.
And I was hoping that I was really hoping that was what the was going to be, graphical fidelity, a stronger console. But who knows how much they don't. So far, there's been no plans of another console.
Well,
so we're rocking with the Switch.
And it's
I mean,
go ahead.
And they've upped production.
Yeah, and like that's the catch-22 with all these game prices and stuff like that, because as you were talking about, Bryan, it's $70 because of the content alone. I don't think Nintendo is necessarily pushing out like content that's gonna run at like 60 FPS or something like that, like how it's gonna play. They're just worried more on like the density of their content, so they can kind of justify their lack of putting resources and working on a new next gen Switch or something like that. So I'm pretty sure we're going this is not the last $70 game we're going to see. And every Sony and Microsoft are definitely going to follow suit. We're going to have a lot of dense content heavy games at higher prices because like all of our resources, I know with the PlayStation 5 there was like launch was terrible, but they didn't have the resources, and maybe Nintendo's like, hey, we don't have the resources to start working on our next gen console or upgrade of the Switch, so we're just going to pour it into our content, make more money, and probably put that extra money that they're charging us into their next gen. So that might be the route that they're going to take.
Yeah, but I get it. But it's like,
but the Switch is how old though? By this point, it should have been they had a new system.
This is going into the 6th year of the Switch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
and it was already underpowered.
Yes, it's like, why the fuck not? Nintendo has the money. Nintendo has the money. Like
legit. If they announced a Switch Pro that's like 2 times the power of the regular Switch, and they're like, hey, all these games are getting upgrades. All these games are, running at better frame rates and better resolution. I will buy that shit in a heartbeat. Just because I'm so
$400 though.
Because I'm so tired of terribly run Switch games. I'm so tired of that junk, dog. I'm so tired.
Why does Nintendo always have to be behind the game when it comes to graphical fidelity? Because we're playing Super Mario. Because we're playing Legend of Zelda. Y'all want to, like, they can support third-party titles would not be a joke on the Switch if it was just stronger. They're just jokes. Who the fuck is gonna play Apex on the Switch?
That's the thing with Nintendo. Nintendo is a very IP.
Bruh. Let's take a brief moment to pause.
Max got really mad about that.
Like, let's appreciate the fact that they tried.
That's just gonna run like Apex. That's just gonna run like Apex Mobile.
I'm pretty sure somebody at Respawn was like, "This shit is not supposed to work."
But it did.
It's going. It's holding on by a paper clip, some string, and like and hopes and wishes.
I know.
Bruh, let me tell you about what back in the day on the Wii, right? When Black Ops 1 was the hotness.
Oh no.
And how Black Ops 1 on the Wii was a Frankenstein's monster abomination of Call of Duty, boy. Oh my fucking god. That shit was impossible to aim because you had to use the motion control.
Oh fuck. I would love to experience
graphics.
that.
It looked like you're playing. It was like Play-Doh figures shooting at each other, bro.
No, bro.
Like,
I give
it was not good.
I give you one more. Look at the DS Call of Duty games.
No, no.
Not the 3DS. Look at the DS Call of Duty games.
Bro.
No, I know how it runs. It's fucking bad.
Bro, me and my younger brother played the fuck out of some Call of Duty Black Ops for DS because it was a buggy nightmare. And there was zombies, bro. They had zombies. And it was unironically fun as fuck. It was unironically fun. It was co-op. So if both of y'all had the game, you could play it. And me and my brother, me and Steve, exploit just so many glitches. we found a way for the grenade launcher to have as much ammo as like an assault. So you were shooting like an automatic grenade launcher. We found ways to there was a glitch. Like, oh my fucking god. There was a glitch when you got downed. If you had your knife out while you're downed, your whatever weapon you had in your secondary slot would be replaced with a pistol. And that was the segue into multiple other glitches. Like, it was unironically in the multiplayer, like dead ass, the online multiplayer was fun. Like, not BSing you, that shit was fun. You had to unlock different guns. You had to unlock different guns, unlock different perks. It was like you were playing Call of Duty. And No, these games are not at all. Get the actual Black Ops out of your head because it has nothing to do with that. The gameplay, the story, none of that. It's not that. It's not that. It's its own fucking thing. But it was fun. It was unironically fun as fuck. I think I still have a copy somewhere.
Jeez.
Oh god.
I think I still got it. That shit was fun. Like, and I'm not going back down. That shit was fun as
Good old Nintendo. But like Nintendo is just they're relying so heavily on their IPs, man.
Which I mean, it's fine, but I just want,
Just give me better hardware. That's all.
Can I at least play a game at 30 frames per second?
Help me enjoy the game that you're trying to pump out into the system, because what you putting into that little cartridge is overheating the system.
Listen,
see smoke coming out of the vents.
I'm telling you, if you
trying to run fucking Tears of the Kingdom.
If the fanboys just hear Link or Zelda, they're just gonna wet their pants right there to Link. It's like
Clayton, I can't with this sound effect in that face. God damn.
cease and desist.
But that's what the fanboys are. That's what the fanboys are gonna do. Am I wrong?
You don't have to replicate it. Jesus.
Don't turn away. Oh God.
You need to take your sleep deprived ass to bed.
The fact that I'm more awake now because I had that soda. My eyes just look droopy because I really need a blanket more. Don't just look
so disappointed at you.
He's like, this is the end of this friendship. Oh God. It's okay. At least you're not in fetal position.
Anyway.
Oh God.
No, I'm not paying $70 for that fuck ass game, bro.
You're paying for IP.
You just got hood. You just got hood as hell, like real quick.
Not.
But so it started to get a little long. It's not going to be another 2-hour podcast like we did last two.
Damn near.
No, we're like at around 1:30 right now, hour 30.
We're sparing you today, audience.
We do have some more topics that we're going to record soon. So
cooking in the oven.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully be a little bit more consistent these next few weeks. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Any final thoughts about the Nintendo Direct or $70 Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom?
Main thing I'm looking forward to is them Game Boy games.
And I get
and Metroid Prime.
I was about to say, for Metroid Prime, can we just get that whole trilogy again, just remastered? Just saying.
Yeah, go ahead. Metroid Prime 2 has a lot of fond memories.
Give me dual analog and just.
Doesn't 2 have multiplayer?
It sure fucking
does.
does. And that shit's fuck busted and
four-player
fun.
split screen, bro.
Broken as fuck. You get them super missiles, and you win. You win.
Those just track too.
Yes.
It's awful.
Oh God. But literally for this direct, I'm only excited about like 5 or 6 games or things that were presented.
All detective games.
Ghost Trick.
Yes.
That's one of them.
No.
That's 2 of them.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. So,
that's not a detective game.
Exactly, Bryan. Advance Wars 1 and 2. Even though like we only got 23 seconds, Professor Layton.
That's another detective game.
Shut up. The Game Boy
for a nigga turning around. Just can't get over that. her. It's just like
and the Game Boy and Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games. I am excited for all of those. And and Samba de Amigo. Yeah,
Somebody, let me.
I want to dance.
Yeah, for me, definitely the Game Boy games. For me, also Prime. I get to actually finally experience that game. Get to see what it's like.
You'll enjoy it.
like shit like that is crazy. Like I understand that Metroid Prime is a 20-year-old game. It's just being remastered, so that's why it's 40. But that is a very consumer friendly pricing for a game, and then you have them doing this little dangling the carrot off of the stick type pricing for Tears of the Kingdom.
Which again, it doesn't make sense because Nintendo's pricing doesn't make sense. Like they'll drop Metroid Prime Remastered for $40, but this is the same company that
out of nowhere,
by
the way.
But this is the same company that when they re-released Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Switch, they charge a full $60 for that game.
Oh, $60 fucking dollars.
Even though by that time on the Wii U, that game was, by the end of the Wii U's lifetime, that game was $20. And when they re-released it, it was $60. Yeah. Same thing with Mario Kart 8. They re-released it at $60. Ooh, my light went out. Dog, I got scared.
Oh Lord.
I thought my power went out like it did last week.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious.
Bro, we was on PlayStation, my power went out mid-sentence. And all I heard was doom. It was like a transformer.
Whole grid.
A transformer had blue. Dog, here's the weird thing. It wasn't a whole grid. It was literally 4 houses. It was my house.
One of them was yours.
My house, the house next to me, the house behind me, and the house next to that house. It was just 4 houses in this little block that the power went out for.
Somebody didn't like y'all.
Right. It feels like it was a targeted attack.
And that was a target. We're gonna specifically aim for this little pocket, right on the block.
But yeah, and the only other thing that really interests me was the Disney illusion illustration island that looked really, really cool. But yeah, I'm gonna play some of the Game Boy games today, especially my favorite Game Boy Color game, Mario Land 3. Oh my god, if you've never played Wario Land 3, play it. The game is phenomenal. I love Wario Land 3. That was one of the first games I got on my Game Boy many years ago, and I played the hell out of it. It's such a great game.
You want a game that another game that's a hidden gem that I hope that they put on the Switch for the Game Boy Advance game, Mario Advance. Shut the
No, you know.
I think that's only you, Bryan.
You know what I think that they should put on there? Now that I thought about it, they should definitely put Resident Evil Gaiden on the Game Boy Color.
You're a sick man.
Have y'all not heard of that game?
No, I heard of it. That game is dog shit.
They legit made a Resident Evil game exclusively for the Game Boy Color.
The color.
It is a top-down game, and when you run into zombies, you see a 2D image of the zombies slowly approaching you, and you have to shoot it. And the way you shoot it, there's a bar that's going underneath the screen, and you have to match that up with your cursor in order to shoot the zombie.
That's pretty fucking wild. Wow.
That's how the combat system works, and it's janky as hell. You still on limited ammo. And if you run out of ammo and the zombies get to you, instead of using your gun, you have to stab the zombies. And the way I'm doing this on the camera, that's how your knife comes out at the zombie, and you still have to match it up with the bar.
Bro, what? Sounds like a
you said it's called what? Resident Evil what? Resident Evil what?
Gaiden.
Okay, I gotta look that up.
Dog shit.
Oh yeah, look at the gameplay for it. It's it's interesting.
But what I was saying before you alone in the fucking dark, Mario Party Advance. I don't know if any of you played that, but that game is a hidden gem. That game is a hidden gem. Honestly, it's really fun. And there's a story mode on it that is actually really fucking good.
Well, look at Mario Party and on the Advance.
Yes, it's fun. The mini games are fun too. Like there's a lot of fun mini games on.
Put Cubics robots for everyone.
Hey man, I'm still saying put those GBA FPSs on there. Look at them online. There's like a lot of them. Look, and there's a lot of YouTubers actually like covered.
Bryan is really advocating for these FPSs on the GBA
because they're surprisingly good. They are surprisingly good. One day we're gonna I'm going to stream it on Discord, and so y'all can see the glory of a GBA FPS.
It's like you found a fucking dinosaur bone or some shit.
I'm staring at your
like archaeologist.
Say what, Clayton?
I'm staring at your rectangle specifically in disgust.
All right, we're gonna call it. Thanks for listening to the Sound Test podcast. We'll catch y'all in the next one.
Peace.
Goodbye. ASMR.
Oh no, I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all.
I just disappointed people so many times.
What's new? All right, we got.
You're right. My childhood.
Oh no.